Hey guys, it's Marine here, and I am bringing you something freaking awesome, and that is the Type 5-9. I finally managed to pick one up in my account. As you can see, I've been playing it quite a bit. I've been having an absolute blast in this tank, and I am very, very thankful to Wargaming for finally hooking me up with one. And recently, they also hooked me up with a Corsair Saber mouse. It's been fantastic. So, between the mouse and this tank, it's just been an absolute great time. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of review of this tank, and I'll get up some Ace Tanker gameplay. Alright, for my crew setup, as you can see, I have Brothers in Arms on all my crew members. I have Safe Stowage, which I absolutely do recommend for this tank. And then I have Smooth Ride and Repairs, working on off-road driving. Snapshot to help with gun handling, repairs, and armor. You do tend, because it is a Stalin turret, people do shoot at your gun quite a bit, and it does tend to be lost. And for my commander, I do have 6 repairs and working on recon. For my ammunition loadout, I currently do have 10 AP, 23 APCR, and 1 HE. I found that the gun handling is just so bad, and I've only been playing this while I have had a Stronghold credit bonus running, which has absolutely been wonderful, because even with just these 10 AP and 23 APCR, I started about an hour and a half ago with 2.4 million credits, and as you can see, just playing it several more times, I've worked myself up to just over 4 million credits. And as far as consumables load out, I just have a small med, repairs, small med, and the auto extinguisher. I definitely have considered bringing this up to a large med, large rep, and auto, but honestly, I haven't had huge issues with it. If I did go try hard mode, especially, I may consider doing that once I get my second marker in here, because right now I just want to play this tank and enjoy it. I may go full try hard with large med, large repairs, and maybe drop this for food just to get my gun handling down. And of course, I would drop then the vents for gun lane drive. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the next part of the review. So now let's go ahead and talk about the armor. Frontally, you're just absolutely fantastic. You have a pretty good lower front, you have a pretty good upper, and of course your turret, with the exception of this little zone right here, is made up of pure Stalin. Cupola is notwithstanding. And so what this means is, with a little bit of effective angling, it's a crap roll whether or not 175 pen guns or lower are going to pen you. Anything else, it's going to bounce. If you're using your max depression, which I have to add is a wonderful -7, you can get your upper to 205 effective. Lower is 145. Well, hopefully you're not exposing it using your wonderful gun depression, and your turret just becomes absolutely amazing. This tank can also side scrape somewhat effectively. If you come out about like this, you have a little space right here. So there's a spot in the front where your armor's not that great, and just down the side you're 230 effectively. So a lot of tier 8 heavy tanks you can side scrape, but you do need to be mindful of this zone right here. As you can see, the turret ring cut does come down, so you're looking at 59 effective, which is pretty much pen for any gun in the game. A lot of people don't try to shoot there, they just shoot on your side, which gets eaten up bear tracks. Now, your turret, again, is absolutely great. I have had issues with a tier 9 heavy tank guns, though. They do tend to just go and laugh while they go through this area of your tank. Now, artillery. You have 15 millimeters armor here. You have 30 here. And 31 here. If already hits you, it's gonna hurt. It's has not been fun. But this tank is an absolute bully. And when we get into gameplay, that's pretty much what you want to do. You want to find the area where you can absolutely bully the enemy tank. You don't want to be trying to take on the enemy's best tanks. You want to try to take on the enemy's worst and work from there. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some replays. All right, before I get into the gameplay, there was a recent discussion about sensitivity for your mouse and everything else. As you can see, this is about where I have my arcade aim, sniper aim, and artillery aim. And my mouse, I have it set to 600 and 800 DPI. I have a rather large desk that I made myself. If you've been following on Watt Labs, I did post a bunch of pictures of it. I may post some pictures in the replay description for you guys to see. But I generally keep everything as smooth as possible. I really don't like to make small movements that just absolutely jump. That can be pretty confusing. And so I like to have it where I can control the smoothness of my aim and within my engagements. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get to this replay. Now, as you can see, the map is Tundra.
Time to roll out.
About where I was going to go. The pseudo-obvious play here is to go to the hill. And as you can see, I am experiencing a little bit of lag there. I have had an absolutely wonderful time the last couple of days playing with Telia. And so I initially was thinking, okay, I want to go here and play the 3-2 line, but quickly realized that I would absolutely get no support over there, especially with a bunch of their tier 8 heavy tanks. And so what I instead decided to do is I see that we have the VK on top of the hill. And I figure, hey, why not? Let's just push in straight into the base. Let's get some pressure up. Let's see what I can do. I can get some pretty good spotting out utilizing my turret. I can just absolutely try to bully some of the guys in the back.
We didn't even scratch them.
Now, there I should have been aiming at the center of the comms turret, but I forgot that it was nerfed recently.
Penetration.
And so now just looking for shots of opportunity. Really not worried about the KV-88s or 85s penetrating me.
Penetration.
And you see right there just how long I absolutely have to aim in order to get anything done. And there, and I noticed the AT-7's there, so let's put some shots into his wonderful cupola.
Armor is damaged.
And I can back off before the Comet has time to aim.
Enemy is hit.
Now there, it would have been great if I would have tracked him.
Ready to
He's decided that he didn't want to live any more.
see the target.
And so now I'm just going to abuse this AT-7.
Enemy armor is damaged. Penetration.
And I absolutely made the right call by going this position instead of going to the 2-3 or to the hill. I was not needed in the slightest at the hill. This opportunity afforded me a good chance to get some, just absolutely abuse this guy and that Comet. And so now I am in position to flex back to base. If they were to try and cap, I can also start working some shots, hopefully, into this KV-4.
Scratch them.
Now, as you can see, I have already run out of AP. But that's life. I was going to try to get a track shot into him, but he did a little bit of a puppy shuffle there. But I'm going to keep trying to track him. And I managed to pick it up there.
Enemy armor is
And he shot my over-angled upper plate.
permission to engage.
Now, for some reason, I am not running any mods at all. And Wargaming, even though they've added the ability in game for you to see the amount of damage you've done, spotting, damage blocked, I absolutely cannot see that. And I really wish they would implement that into these replays. So I'm just going to look for a position on this T-32 and ISX. And I see a TOG. I have to shoot TOG. Which I take some stupid unnecessary damage to do, but TOG. Have to shoot TOG. I don't have to. It's a horrible, stupid decision for me to do. And as you can see, already. At this point, I decided to come over here and help this Panzer. Just going to fall back in my direction, which is the right thing to do. Lets me get a shot into him, and then Panzer is able to finish him off. And so now I assume that the other KV-85 has pushed up, and I am correct. Now I was thinking about making a similar play with the KV-85, but I figured it would take a little bit too long. And I really wish this thing had the Russian gun handling. And so now I decide to instead go after artillery and the ISU. I figured the IS-6 will be dead before I have a chance to get there. And I was, of course, correct. I'm going to make a quick loop around here. Now, I assume that the Artie is still in the back. I didn't believe he would have moved over here, just based on where his splash was and the type of artillery. The M12 isn't exactly super fast. And let's face it, most puppies don't move. And again, you guys see a little bit of the lag that I was experiencing. And that Indian Panzer was just balanced. Of course, Stalin guided my shell right into his mantle. But I'm going to pick up the skill, of course. And I end this game with the 5 kills, 4,044 damage. I blocked 1,060 with 236 experience. Now, most of the damage I did deal was my own spotting. And so because of that, I did finish with 1,407 base experience. And because I played this tank during a credit bonus from our stronghold and a personal reserve, I did profit 171,000 credits this game, even firing all of that APCR. So as you can see, I can fire pretty much any type of ammunition that I want, and I'm going to make a lot of credits playing this tank. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the next one. Alright, as you can see, the map is Ruinberg Encounter, and we have the automatic win side of the map because this map is horrible. And so I'm going to use that to my full advantage. I'm going to get down to the D7 area initially to get some spotting on tanks crossing down at J6 and J7, as well as get shots up into the town. I'm actually going to play that position for quite a bit. As you're going to see, my team is going to be pretty aggressive in the town, so I don't need to worry necessarily about getting shot from that direction. And here come the spots. A big old side of a box tank, more than happy. Now, most tier 8 medium tanks I would have been able to get off a second shot much sooner than that, but I found that side of the KV-4 pretty juicy, and with 180 pin, able to get that shot in. No idea where that round went, but it didn't work. The L2TB just decided not to have a lasting impact on this battle. And so I'm just going to patrol this ridge. I now see that the M103's moved up. He should soon have shots onto anything spotted on the town. and the 54E1. Now this is how you want to play 54E1 with an autoloader. You want to make him take bad shots, and you want to punish him for taking those shots. And so I get the idea that he's going to try to YOLO me here, and so I prepare to aim at his tracks. Unfortunate miss there, but the Ferdinand has my back. I really wasn't too worried about him trying to completely empty his clip into me. And that guy just absolutely threw his tank away. Now you're going to see me fap about with this T20, which is... I should not have. He has all the gun handling on me, and his reload is hardly worse than mine. Plus he has the accuracy, which I don't. I should have been focused a little bit more on what's up in the town. Because you're just going to see I'm not going to have hardly any impact on that T20. And honestly, he's not going to have one on me. Right now I'm just throwing away credits. Not going to pen me. Really, I just wanted him to back off so that I could play a little bit more down below. I'm just making horrible shots. Terrible. Thankfully, that shot right there does make him decide a little bit better for the matter. And I should now be able to better support those up in the town. I see the T20's given up a little bit. Bit unfortunate to take that damage from the Panther, but I want to try to stay hull down from as many enemies as possible. And now we are quickly going to be winning. Now, unfortunately, from the, again, replay, you're not seeing that I'm picking up a lot of spotting for these tanks moving in, which is a bit unfortunate. And he had decided to just give up on life. If I would have realized that, I would have aimed the shot a little bit more, but it worked out. And so now I'm not too worried about this coming a tank. And as you can see, you lose my driver right there. Well, this guy's not a bad player. At least he's got 2 marks on this tank. But it's not going to matter. His DPM is so bad. My armor is just so much better. Pull him into the shot from a Ferdy. But lose my gun right there. As you can see, that's why I do have armor. Anyway, I did finish this game with 3,183 damage. I blocked 2,140, and I spotted for 1,804 damage. Now, again, even with all that APCR, and as you can see, I was only down to 9 rounds left out of my 35 total, or 34 total rather. I still made 159,000 credits. This tank has been an absolute delight to play. I'm very glad that I was able to pick it up. Is it still worth the hype? In my opinion, yes. It is one of the better tier 8 medium tanks, just straight up. Now, it will scale rather poorly with especially with the tier 9 and 10 battles, which would be just way too much alpha to go through and just absolutely wreck your gun handling. In fact, I kind of wish they would give the T-34-2 preferential matchmaking because, dear God, that tank is terrible. Again, is this thing still pretty strong? Yes. Now, the power creep that Wargaming has introduced to the game, it's made this tank rather very mediocre. It is one of the better premium matchmaking tanks, but you're better off in a Scorpion, you're better off in an IS-3A, you're better off in the standard matchmaking tier 8s, especially when it comes to credit making, when it comes to your gun handling, etc. It is a good tank. It's not the mythical, legendary unicorn it used to be, in my opinion, but it is still just absolutely phenomenal to play when you get the right matchmaking. You can just absolutely bully your way through anything in the game when you have the right matchmaking. And that's just pretty much key. You have to get the right matchmaking for that to really work. This is the time I had a lot of tier 9s I was up against out in the field and some heavy tanks, so matchmaking wasn't ideal, but I still was able to have a nice impact. Anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoy this, and I'll catch you on the next one.